Let me try that again. Malary White. She is the Chief Communications Officer at MEMA, and unfortunately, we're talking about damage in Mississippi from the weekend. Malary, when we get temperatures in the, mid-upper 60s, low 70s in Mississippi in late December, we kind of know what's coming, and that was bad weather that made its way through the southeast and took a toll on some of our native Mississippians.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're still doing damage assessments. People hit the ground running yesterday trying to survey the damage and make sure, life safety is our number one issue, make sure everyone is accounted for. Unfortunately, we did have 2 fatalities due to those storms. And, again, we'll continue to do damage assessments today. And I know power crews are out still working to restore power.
So how widespread were the power outages that we're dealing with?
I saw the power outage numbers get over 65,000, and we have so far about 20 counties reporting some type of damage statewide. And so far about 150 homes with damage, and that ranges from completely destroyed to, maybe just affected by having some roofing damage, things like that. We also have 7 businesses that were also damaged throughout the storms that happened on Saturday. And so, like I said, we're not finished doing these assessments. These are still preliminary numbers. I know that the National Weather Service is also doing damage surveys, so far seeing about 6 confirmed tornadoes that happened on Saturday. So very busy, active night. And it's unfortunate that we had 2 people lose their lives because of it. Yeah. And we just urge people to be patient with the first responders and those that are out there currently trying to restore power.
One of those fatalities occurring in Adams County. It was announced yesterday, I guess it was, that there was another fatality in Lowndes County, injuries in Franklin County, Simpson County, Wayne County as well. That in a post from Governor Reeves on X that we got over the last couple of days. It was crazy kind of how widespread these storms were, and we saw it from a forecast standpoint. For a while, we knew that there was going to be a lot of rain and the potential for thunderstorms and maybe some more severe weather as well. But damage assessments happening in DeSoto, Tunica, Clay, Oktibbeha, Copiah, Rankin, Simpson, Clark, Jasper, Adams, Franklin, Lincoln, Amite, and Wayne counties. I mean, that kind of covers the gamut of the state.
Yeah, it's widespread. And if you look back to the tornadoes that happened in March of 2023, you go all the way from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, all the way over to Monroe County. Unfortunately, this is just part of these severe weather seasons that we see. And so we tell people, hurricanes are not just a coastal event, they're a statewide event. Tornadoes, unfortunately, are the same way. It can affect, all the way from southwest Mississippi to north Mississippi. And so that's why we urge people to know who your National Weather Service office is that covers your area, because it's not just National Weather Service Jackson. We have 4 in total that cover Mississippi. We encourage people to have the MEMA app. You can go in and you can geo-target your location and monitor weather updates in your area, but you can also monitor it for family in other parts of Mississippi. And so that's why we encourage preparedness as well, because we're not sure how long the power is going to be out. And so that's why we also encourage people to have a kit in place and to be prepared for prolonged power outages. Luckily, right now, the temperatures are not freezing and they're not scorching hot. Yeah. And so, but we encourage people to always have a backup just in case.
Malary White is Chief Communications Officer with MEMA, the Mississippi Emergency Management Association, joining us this morning talking about the storms that made their way through Mississippi on Saturday night. I know MEMA sits in a constant state of being ready to respond, ready to act, prepared to react, but are we a little kind of out of season for what we generally consider to be tornado season? I mean, that feels normally more like kind of a spring phenomenon, in the same way that hurricane season feels a little bit more like a fall phenomenon. But I feel like it's kind of getting harder and harder to put those seasons in a box.
Yeah, it is kind of hard because we typically should be preparing for winter weather right now instead of tornado weather. But December tornadoes, Christmas tornadoes are actually not uncommon for Mississippi. If you think back, I think it was about 2014, 2015, 2016. There was a stretch there for a few years where we were having tornadoes in December. It's an unfortunate thing. Just like hurricane season, we've seen hurricane season dip from November going into December as well. Yeah. It's just one of those things that we constantly have to have an eye on the storm. We always have to be vigilant and be prepared. And we train for this. So whenever we do have a blue sky day, we're training for these types of events and kind of keeping our head on a swivel of what's going to happen next, making sure that our counties and our local responders have what they need to be successful to respond to their citizens as well. It all works together, and we all have to work together. It's not just MEMA. It's the Department of Transportation that's out there clearing debris in the middle of the night, making sure that our roadways are safe. It's Department of Public Safety out there with state troopers, making sure that folks are also staying safe and they're responding to accidents that have happened. So it's not just a MEMA thing; it's a whole state agency, statewide effort that goes into responding to these types of events.
You always feel maybe a little compassion because they get called into work, but also a sense of pride when you see those utility crews from other parts of the state that are immediately deploying to go and help the areas that are in need. And you saw that across Mississippi yesterday in areas that weren't as affected, immediately going to those parts of the state where there is significant damage, trying to get, as you've talked about, the power back on as quickly as possible.
Exactly. Entergy told us they had additional resources that come in to help them. We see counties all the time going to other counties to assist them. It's part of a SMAC agreement, a state mutual aid compact. And also, I think it's just what Mississippi is all about. Yeah. We're not going to sit here and watch someone in our neighboring county suffer. We're going to go out there and we're going to help them. And not to sound all kumbaya at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, but it is true. We've seen this time and time again that if we have people in our state that are suffering, other people are going to step in and help them as well. And they did it during Rolling Fork, and they're doing it right now.
You know, you mentioned it a second ago. Line workers out across the state, public safety department officials, MEMA officials that are out, and a whole lot more. No many are listening while they're out working this morning. Just want to say thank you to all that you're doing. Stay safe and get back home to your families quickly. I hate to even bring this up because when you talk about a 2-week long-range forecast, there's so much that can change. But there are some predictive models. You mentioned winter weather a second ago, that maybe we should be getting ready for winter weather as opposed to tornadoes, or at least that's kind of what our mind tells us. Any look at this long-range forecast that potentially has some significant winter weather in Mississippi a couple of weeks out?
Yeah, you know, I don't have a crystal ball. I can only go off of what the forecasters are saying right now. And this is the thing. Let's learn from our lessons in the past. We saw it in January of this year. Unfortunately, we had, I believe it was about 12 people who passed away because of winter weather conditions. So go ahead and prepare your family now. That I mentioned it earlier, having that disaster supply kit, that is crucial even in winter weather. We see it down here. We may not see snow, but we see that unfortunate ice. Yes. And that ice can be dangerous. It can be deadly. And so we encourage people to be prepared and keep monitoring the weather. And people like MEMA, people like the Department of Transportation, we are going to let folks know whenever it is time to start preparing. Get your car ready. Get your supply kit ready. So we encourage those people to stay informed. Yes, you need to go ahead and get prepared. January is coming. February is coming. And over the past few years, we have seen significant winter weather during those months.
No doubt. Malary, thanks for joining us this morning. Happy New Year to you. Look forward to visiting with you, hopefully under good circumstances in 2025. And thanks for everything that MEMA does to keep us all safe and to respond when needed.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Malary White, Chief Communications Officer at MEMA, joining us, singing Kumbaya on this Monday morning. seriously, thanks to all those who are out there working to get power restored and to get folks taken care of. A lot of people that need it. We're back with you right after this on the Gallo Radio Show, Super Talk, Mississippi.